The regular Village of Armada Council meeting will now come to order. We all stand for a pledge of allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, clerk.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Cronin.
Here.
Bullock.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Cooper. Here. Pelkey. Here.
All present. Approval of the agenda. What's the council's wishes, please?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended, or as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, the floor is opened up to citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience would like to address the board at this time? If not, there's no presentations tonight. Administrative reports, building report, you have that in your packet. Liaison reports, any liaison reports? Planning Commission meeting minutes are in your packet also. We'll move on to general business, the consent agenda. What is the council's wishes as to the approval of the regular council meeting minutes of July 23rd and the payment of bills?
President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Old business, sewer plant update. Mr. Clark, do you have something?
Something real quick, the unit that we approved, just our last meeting, the refrigeration unit with the testing samples in it was picked up, and been in the process of being installed. I haven't seen if it's finalized yet, but the guys went and picked it up and brought it into the plant, so we have it in our possession.
Very good.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other one? If not, West Main Street, Mr. Ballard. You have it.
I've been notified by Row Incorporated that Superior Contracting will be doing our work on West Main Street. Start date is, we still don't know yet.
Superior Contracting.
Yes,
And where are they from?
I have no idea.
You know, Doug?
Doug,
I think they're out of Elmar.
Alma?
Yeah.
You know if they've been in business a long time or anything like that?
I've done some projects with them, but they were different types of projects. Salt storage building, and they did concession in our park in Fort Huron. And then 2 years ago, they did some parking lot work with utilities for Emily schools. So they've been around for a while, but I haven't done a road reconstruction project with them.
Very good. Always something new to try.
That's right.
All right, then. The next, we're going to move on to the new business. And at this time, Ed, our DPW supervisor, has interviewed candidates for our DPW labor position and would like to recommend to council Jason D. Burton. Jason is here in our audience with us. I asked Ed to ask him to come so we could all meet him at the same time. So I thank him for that, for coming in and being present with us. So at this time, Ed, do you have any other information you want to?
No, I'd just like to have council's recommendation to hire him as a full-time employee for the DPW.
Okay, Ed and I have talked briefly, and so with Ed's recommendation, I am going to recommend that we hire Jason Burton, for this job. And there will be a in other words, he has passed the background checks and
Yes.
everything so
I have
far.
those all right here.
Yeah, so Ed has that stuff all on file.
The only thing we gotta do yet is the physical.
and physical.
Get a DOT card.
And he has agreed to probably take the S3 and the D3 class licensing for the water business too. So, and that he'll work on, he has 3 years to do that, you know, so we're very pleased to have him come in and be our person of interest.
Sounds like you're really getting into something.
Did I did good for you? All right, so at this time, I would recommend as such with DPW supervisor's recommendation to me that we go ahead and, you know, authorize this hiring. So what is council's wishes?
Mr. President, I'll resolve to authorize the Superintendent of Public Works to extend the offer of employment to Jason D. Burton at the base hourly rate of $18 per hour with overtime, comp time, clothing allowance, hospital and medical for the employee only, workers' comp, and liability insurance benefits comparable to those provided to current full-time DPW employees. The offer of employment is subject to Burton passing the background check and medical examinations. Continued employment is contingent upon Burton completing a 6-month probationary period and securing Class S3 and Class D3 water licenses within 3 years of hiring.
Support.
But we're gonna,
Hold on, I was just gonna say
Make
that.
that longer.
I had that italicized because that was something we should probably discuss for the medical for the employee only. You know, the only people that we've done that for in recent history are the new hires. You know, I think that we should offer it to, I think it should be a family plan.
I have to agree.
So that's my opinion. I didn't know how council would feel about that.
What's the cost difference?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But we do it for everybody else. This got changed years ago. And I don't know. I think it's gonna give us people that wanna come in and stay.
Yeah, no.
You know, I think it makes it
I'll
difficult.
go along with that.
So am I.
Okay, so, all right, so we'll say hospital medical family plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
No offense, Jason. You do have a family with
Daughters, yes.
daughters?
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
How is
You
Sophia?
welcome that, you know, so
Good.
good, so, yeah.
She'll tell you the fares here.
I'm sure, Harvey.
And, okay, so I can't just say medical family plan? Will that work, or should I have medical, how should I word it?
Just medical period. Don't designate. And then it's up to him what plan. Just put medical.
Okay, just medical, so take
Yep.
that off. I want to make sure that's all right, Jim. So just
Well,
take out what I italicized.
You just, Jason, are you married or?
No, single.
Okay, so you need for your dependents, your 2 daughters.
Yeah.
All right, so
So hospital and medical, workers'
then-
comp and liability, that should cover it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just take out
I
the
just-
employee only.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I meant to bring that up, and I never saw anybody to do that.
And then the other
But I
thing,
did see it.
on the water licenses, being that the DEQ is getting a little more strict on license writing, if you want to know a whole lot more as into the rules and regulations, you should make that a little bit longer than 3 years to obtain a license.
Can I say something though? Aren't you going to be gone within the next 4 years? Yeah,
See ya.
I know. Well, I mean,
We need someone on.
we need somebody, because don't you need 2 operators?
And you might have to be looking for a certified operator because he's got to work at least a year before
We
he can
have
write it.
complete confidence in you, Jason. You're just
Thank you.
with those things.
I'm not trying to push it off, but
I would,
it's a lot to learn.
I would think with your recommendation at a later date, if we should
Extend
extend
it,
that.
we can.
It would not be the first time we've extended
Right.
it
Yeah.
on your recommendation, and if Jason's doing well, I'm sure we would do that.
Should I always, even if they're moving forward and progressing, always extend it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
My fear
Your
is just that
departure,
he's
we
going to be
really
gone.
need to get somebody.
You might
Or we need you to just stick around there.
No.
Now he said it on camera. He stopped.
This is my 44th year on that.
See, Jason, the benefits have already raised
You're not even hired yet.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And you can never leave.
Yeah. You're stuck forever and ever and ever.
That's
So,
okay.
44 years.
Yeah, we'll do roll call.
How
Yeah.
old are you?
Be 63 in a couple of weeks.
Young man.
Younger than you.
You are.
okay,
I don't
so,
think some of these council people were born when I started here, but I'm not sure.
I was already born. I think I'm the youngest.
all right, so
Yeah.
we have the motion and support on the floor. So I'm going to call for a roll call on that.
Ballard,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Cooper. Yes. Selkie.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Welcome, Jason.
Welcome aboard.
Jason, you want to step forward, please?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations and welcome aboard with our village of Armada.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Todd, for football, West Main.
Thank you
Oh,
very
good.
much. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Overrun.
Thank you, sir.
So, when's the start date? I guess we didn't put that in
Immediately after it's physical,
there. Okay, good. All right.
It's scheduled already, then, is it?
just got, getting all the paperwork and send them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So,
Yay. Oh, that's something. Oh, phew. It's been a long, long process.
see, Jason's so happy already. Look at the smile on him.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Did we start advertising for another one?
Yeah.
So it's gonna,
No, can we take a break? Just a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we'll take this
A
break
little
right
bit of a
now.
break.
give you a week.
But,
You want to consider hiring one of the other people for part-time too, that would be a pretty good idea. You got leaf season coming up and that, you really need 3 people to do that.
Okay.
It's with your recommendation, I mean, put something together and
well, I did bring that up about 2 years ago, getting a part-timer
Yep.
in as well, and to eventually go full-time. So that's a very good suggestion that we'll take on, probably maybe at our next meetings or so. Okay?
Sounds good.
So
You
we'll
really
be
should
bringing
do
that
that
back.
at budget time.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah, we
just
need
said.
to-
We don't have
we
any-
need to-
It's not in the budget, so.
Yeah. Okay, so next is the
You can.
Police car-
Let you stay.
police car purchase. It's gonna be with salvage title. It will not be out of taxpayers' money. So, Sherry, this is your department?
Yes. So Chief has been waiting. Oh, bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Yep.
Nice meeting you.
Take care.
We'll see you
Thanks
soon.
the whole meeting, even if he's quitting.
Police chief has been doing some research on this and he specifically wanted silver to stay with the silver that he's been doing. He also wanted to get a 4-wheel drive, as opposed to a car. The resale value on those, and they hold the value more. And given the snow that we get around here, the 4-wheel drive is a little easier for him to get around. It's also very comparable to what a car would cost. As you can see, it's on $27,783 from Signature Ford. And again, it is using only salvage title. And what it's gonna do is as soon as the car comes in, they're immediately gonna get it outfitted with the license readers, so it's already ready to go.
And he still has to get the costs on that, so we'll have to bring that back, the outfitting. This is just.
Yes, this is just the car,
Yeah.
right, but he wants to hurry up and get it in so we can get the license readers on it.
Because he can't
So.
get this until, I think he said October.
Yeah.
So the sooner we order it, and then we'll worry about the outfitting later.
Right. So if that's okay with everyone, I'd like to make a motion to allow the police chief to purchase a new patrol vehicle from Signature Ford using salvage title funds for a not to exceed amount of $27,783.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Any further discussion?
I just always aware, I think it's important to note that this is being purchased through a cooperative bid, so it is,
Yep.
it did go out to bid, we're buying off a competitively bid purchasing
Is
contract.
that the state contractor?
And Home County, I think it is.
We have bought from Signature Ford
Yeah, we
before with this state bidding process. And I think, in fact, one time, years back, we bought one through the county because the state couldn't, find us one at that time. But this has been ongoing, so we have no problems with it. Okay,
Let me see roll call.
roll call.
Cooper,
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Selkie,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Cronin.
Yes.
Motion carried. The next is the police equipment purchase. Sherry, this is your department again.
Yes, at the last meeting, I mentioned that all the officers went to firearms training, which they have to do every couple of years. In the process of doing that, they do need to resupply themselves with ammunition. It was in the budget this year for $700. The total amount that chief has expenditure for is $634.03. So it's a little less than what he budgeted, but it is enough ammunition to get them through. So, does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, with that being said, I'd like to allow the police chief to purchase supplies and ammunition at a cost of $636.03 as allowed for in the 2018-2019 approved budget.
Support.
Actually, the amount is different, $636.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's for $634.03, not $636, I'm sorry.
Is that okay with you, Lyle?
Yep.
That's just probably my fingers.
That's all right.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Cooper?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Pelkey? Yes. Cronin?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Motion carried. Next is a recommendation to contract with the engineers for the sewer plant improvements. Steve, you have?
Yep. As you know, we sent out our RFQ back in June. We sent out to 4 different companies. We sent out to Rowe, Tetra Tech, Hubbell Roth and Clark, and Tri-County Engineering Consultants. We received back from everybody except Hubbell Roth and Clark. They decided they didn't want to submit anything.
Who was the fourth one? You had Hubbell Roth, Clark, Tetra Tech, Rowe.
And Tri-County
Tri-County.
Engineering. I'll give you this. You
Okay,
can
thank you.
have that. So just for a little background, a couple of weeks ago, we had our meeting, we received the packets, and before we even opened the packets, we decided to take a field trip. We went down to the plant. Chris took everybody around. I thought it would be good to put eyes on everything that we've been talking about here. You know, Mike has been down there before, Sam hadn't, and what I thought was gonna be a 15-minute tour, Chris was about an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Got off easy there.
Surprise, yes. Anyway, we came back to the office, we opened up the packets and distributed the packets, so each of us took 3 from the 3 different companies. We decided we would take them home, read them, mark them up, whatever, and then we had our meeting just the other day we had hoped to finalize, and we did finalize. We went through, talked amongst ourselves, and we came up with the recommendation of Rowe Engineering.
Any additional?
So Rowe Professionals.
Yeah, Rowe Professional,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any questions on why we decided with Rover and what have you?
Well, this, you gotta remember too, this is all qualification based.
Right.
It's-
No money
it's
was.
not money.
Money was not
It's-
discussed
Yeah,
about.
and MDOT's very, not MDOT, the
DEQ.
DEQ is
DEQ.
very, very clear on that. So,
No, I mean, all the companies, they had good, they've worked on various, projects, similar to ours, different things. All the booklets were put together quite well. And again, we discussed amongst ourselves, and that was the recommendation that we came up with. So if nobody really has any other questions on it, I resolve to accept the recommendation of the Sewer Commissioner Committee to retain Rowe Professional Services to facilitate sewer plant improvements identified in the S2 project manual and to authorize the president and the clerk to sign all documents subject to village attorney approval.
support.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, we're gonna have roll call. Yeah.
Clark?
Yes.
Pelkey? Yes. Shaw?
Yes.
Cronin?
Yes.
Cooper?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Bullock?
Yes, motion carries. So welcome aboard, here, Mr. Giles.
Thank you. We appreciate your
Rural
support.
Incorporated.
Did you say HRC did not submit?
Right.
Yeah.
Next is the sidewalk replacement for the village. Ed and Mr. Ballard has spent time in the past now going over our sidewalks that need attention. And so they do have a list to go with, and so as soon as he can get his bids out or whatever. So Mr. Ballard, I'm going to let you address the rest.
Well, according to our treasurer, there is some Act 51 funds that we have to spend so much money in doing sidewalks in. Joe, I believe it was between $6,000 and $8,000 this year. I'm sorry? $10,000 this year. Now, the last sidewalks we got bids on were well in excess of $10,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick out some of the worst sidewalks, and one of the worst ones we have is right out here. It's all chipped up and falling apart from the rainwater and everything else, right here in front of this building. That would be one that I would like to put in, along with some of the, maybe some other ones. And we're going to choose one that's going to fit into this $10,000 realm. Okay? That's all we got.
Is Fair Street on that? Because down at the corner where it turns.
Yeah, yes,
That's
there is.
bad.
That's really bad down there. And we've also got some trees down there that have to be taken out of the right of way. So I think with all that,
Okay, good.
we'll have to take care of that, this week possible.
So that's what we have is $10,000.
Is a fair going on?
Yeah, why not? It's only 4 small trees.
Oh, we're doing lead copper sampling right now too.
I'm sorry?
We're doing lead copper sampling right now too, so that's.
Oh, good. Well,
And then we're doing haloacetic acid, trihalomethanes sampling too.
yeah, that's only 15, 20 minutes, so it's right
Okay. Plus I have to run those samples to the lab in Lansing.
Oh, okay.
Is,
Mike had a question.
yeah,
I was just asking, wow, is that the $10,000, that's all we have?
That's all we got.
Sidewalk?
That's not necessarily all you have, but that's the minimum that you need to spend out of that.
because did we
Make
budgeted
the
for
proposal.
sidewalks this year, didn't we? That's-
Do we
Yeah.
need a motion for him to do that?
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's, the motion's there.
I do have a question though. I mean, in years past, we used to do that 50/50.
With homeowners?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly where all these areas, obviously out here, that would be
100%.
100%, but I do know, like I said, we used to go through that process of notifying people that, we're gonna do the sidewalk in front of your house, and you'll be invoiced, 50%.
That's still in place.
So I just didn't know if we were talking,
That ordinance is still in place, Joe.
oh, no, I know, I guess what I'm
It's
saying
It's
is,
the 10,000 out of our.
well, that's what I'm saying, to Mike's point is, you actually, I'm guessing if we go that route, or we do more residential, that 10 becomes 20 because.
It's usually more.
because-
Oh, I got you. If it's residential.
Yes,
Right.
because the ordinance is that residents pay half.
They do have to pay half.
Yes.
Correct, well, that's been the customary, right, Lyle? I mean,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it would allow us to do a little bit larger scale projects if we.
So after the concrete is in, all finished, then they get a bill from.
Right, but we do notify them ahead of time.
Yes.
Because we get the bids and we know what our cost is gonna be. And then I think we send notice saying, we're gonna be doing the sidewalk and you will receive an
Invoice. That's been a long time.
So, that being said, I will resolve to authorize the street administrator to proceed with sidewalk replacement in accordance with Chapter 7 of the Village Code using Act 51 funds.
Second.
Do we want to add on there and other
Nope, that's all we
budgeted
wanna do.
village funds or?
Well,
Okay.
Act 51 funds, that's what we're going to use.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not spending.
No. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
Yes.
President, I just wanted to let you know, it's a different bidding environment out there right now than what we've had in the past few years. And now I think we're on our second or third project company-wide where we have had no bidders. Some of them are a little different type of projects, but the bidding environment's pretty rough out there. So if that's something that the village thinks they want to do yet this year, I would encourage you to move quickly and see what kind of interest you get for contractors. Some of them are still looking for some work in the fall. They can plug a hole or whatever. A lot of them have more work they can do already, and they're just not bidding anymore.
We need to get it into this budget this fiscal year.
Yes, we'd like to do it, I think, as soon as possible, because this has been on the agenda, working with it, so, very fine. Thanks for your information, Doug. Would you go over that?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me go next then. The next.
Wait, we did, didn't we? Did you call for?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wrote it before.
just wanted
Yeah, as soon as you asked me, I wasn't.
I just wanted to double check with
Okay.
you, so,
right.
official record keeper of the village.
I'm lost.
I'm on the roll tonight, I guess.
No, even the audience is laughing on that one, yeah.
No, we're gonna have lots of laughs, because we like to work together. Next is the wood chipper. We've been talking about that. Ed called me just roughly 2 weeks ago, where the chipper was really taking a puke and not working right. He had a lot of brush to pick up, a lot of work to do, and so the thing is, you start and then quit, start and then quit. So he finally ordered a new carburetor. He put that on, and then I understand there was some additional work that he had to have the mechanics do at the garage. So the thing is that I told him to go ahead and do it, even though he has so much authority to go ahead and spend. So to get it done, and then now we want to get a new chipper. We will get this money out of it. It's not going to be a lost cause, because there's already a couple people that would be interested in buying our old chipper. So, but we would like the quotes to come in with Ed seeking them and sending out letters to the people. He's learned of a couple new companies apparently that are willing to bid. So that may be in our favor.
I move to authorize DPW Supervisor Zarakowski to obtain quotes for a new wood chipper.
Second.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
And I just wanted, because we've gotten a lot of phone calls in the office, just for the public to understand. Like we've been saying, it's been down. We were down to 2 guys. It takes both of them to run the chipper. It's now that we have our 3rd guy, hopefully, if we get a new chipper, all these problems will go away. But we've had a lot of phone calls
Right now
about
it's
it.
running pretty good.
Yeah, well, good. But hopefully, hopefully if your brush is still sitting there, we're gonna get to it, as soon as possible. Yeah. Oh, you got it? Oh, okay, there you go.
So 2 men have worked very
Yeah,
diligently,
they have.
and we have to congratulate our 2 men. 1 square mile is a lot for 2 men to take care of. And so we have to understand, we're trying to get it as soon as possible, and that's why I told him that same day, order it right now. So we're on our way.
And also to mention, there's a lot of communities that do not offer
Yeah,
the service at all.
Right, most don't. Yeah.
Do you have a ballpark idea on what those chippers run at all?
We budgeted for it. How much was the budget, Joe?
Because we're not spending money on it. Just tell them.
Just tell them.
I can't remember how much you paid for that one. Been around 10 or 11,000.
The new ones are probably gonna be around 32,000. That's the last,
Well, that's a lot more than what we budgeted.
yeah, that's the last figure that I had when I started checking. Ed also checked before, and he gave me information, and I checked on it at that time. Now, that's about 2 years ago. So, maybe we'll be lucky, maybe we'll find something, that caliber, and go ahead and be fortunate.
Well, let's just also keep in mind that our budget is pretty tight this year too. So, we have to keep an eye on it. And, I know the police has taken a big chunk off of the budget, but we want to make sure that we can still handle it. That might not always be there. So, We need to make sure our budget was not, we did not have a lot left over at the end of this year.
Well,
We just need
It's
to
in
keep
the
our
budget
minds
right
up
now.
wrapped around
I
that.
think the budget had a chipper and something else, right?
It did,
Another
Joe said
big-
she
And the
thinks it's
barn.
30,000 and that included the roofs and the chipper, and we just spent 20,000 on the roofs, so at least 10,000 for a chipper.
I thought there was another big purchase though.
Tobacco.
What was
The
that?
backhoe.
It's down out.
but that was actually taken out.
Yes.
So that
That was
frees up
taken
some
out.
money, I guess
So
that's
10
my point.
Yeah, 10,000 is what we have left for a chipper.
Right. So
If
then-
that. What did the roofs come in at? Because
Well,
we didn't
I
made
don't
a
know
budget
if it was
amendment.
over, but that's what I was looking at.
This is why.
Yeah.
So at this time, that is what we have on the floor, and I'm going to call for everybody in favor.
It's just for quotes at this,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, yeah, we are.
That's what your motion is.
Right.
Yeah,
See what we can get.
Right.
You should be able to get some kind of discount in NJP too. I think that's the name of the company that we're part of.
Do they have a state bid process?
Oh, yeah,
Or just
yeah,
kinda-
Yeah, they have.
They do?
Real people, I think it's NJP, we signed it every 10 years ago, and if there's a discount you get just from ordering it through them.
Oh, cool. Okay. Does that sound like a good number that you'd be able to manage between them?
I don't know.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you did anything on
I'm
it
too
yet.
busy.
Okay, no worries. Cool.
Okay, good. No further questions. Metro Act permit application for AT&T.
Bye, Ed.
Bye, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. What is council's wish?
I'll move to authorize the president to sign the Metro Act right-of-way permit extension on behalf of the village.
Support.
Moved and supported.
Dave, can I just say to approve and authorize, because I think we, just authorizing him, I think they'll want it to.
To approve and authorize.
Approve
Okay.
and authorize. Okay,
You all set?
yep.
This is just an extension.
It's just an
so everybody knows that
extension,
They've already got the permit, they're required by state law to renew it.
Yeah,
So-
every 5 years.
All right, so, pardon me.
All those in favor? Did you already call them?
No,
Did you not
no,
call
I
them, or
didn't.
just call for a vote?
So, yeah, I'm gonna call for a vote
Okay.
right now. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. So approval for payment of subcontracted fair workers. So what is the council's wishes on that?
Mr. President, I'll resolve to allow for the payment to subcontracted fair workers on August 23rd, 2018.
A second?
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? It's actually revolving money, so let's have a roll call on that, okay?
Shaw?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait, back up. I'm sorry, I'll come back to you. Ballard,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Belkey? Yes. Conan?
Yes.
And Watt.
Yes.
Okay.
Motion carried.
Sorry, I have a system, and if I get off the system, don't mess around.
Up and coming agenda items, council have any? We're gonna put our West Main Street on there yet?
Oh, yes.
It
Lyle?
comes
Keep it
back
right
every
on.
time.
Yep.
And your sewer also, right?
Every time.
Very good.
DPW part-time?
DPW part-time?
I think we should get settled with this before we get a part-time guy.
Well, you know, we can probably work on that maybe in another month or in the future, somewhat close by. Because now,
Probably you're thinking about the leaves and that, eh?
Yeah.
Well, look how long it took us to get where we're at right now.
Right.
Whole summer.
Exactly, so I
Yeah,
think
so-
if we started now, we would get somebody, you know.
Well, he does, I mean, he has several.
He said he has
He's
several.
he's got several.
It'd be nice to get it
resumes.
ironed out before we
Yep.
panic mode.
I don't know, Joe, what's the budget?
I start working on it in a couple months. I mean, February we start working on budget, so not that far off, but I wouldn't jump the gun.
Our numbers,
That's our
our
treasurer.
numbers, our numbers, our numbers.
President, I've been working with AIS Construction Equipment, and I've got a lease price for a backhoe for next year. This is just budgetary, not committing to anything. We're also going over New Holland and Richmond to see if they can give us apples to apples. What AIS does is they lease it to you for a monthly payment. They take care of all maintenance. It's their machine. They take care of all maintenance. Any breakdowns, they repair on site. The backhoe does not leave here unless it's something major, you know, and then they just bring another machine over and you use that machine while yours is being repaired. We're gonna ask Ford if they can, or excuse me, New Holland, if they can do the same thing. Basically, you've got two people in the area that do this, and that's the ones we're gonna go.
Is that an upcoming agenda item you'd like to put on, Lyle?
I'd like to have that on, but this is strictly for, to see if there's any more.
You want it, all right, so are you bringing it back to the next meeting, or are you
Yes,
gonna wait
ma'am.
until you talk to New Holland and then bring it
Nope,
back?
I wanna bring it back to the next.
So what do you
meeting.
wanna call it?
Call it backhoe, round.
Lease?
Lease, yeah, round, whatever.
Okay.
Can I put in a request to have Joe give us our budget?
But
What our budget
this
is?
this isn't until next year's budget.
Oh, okay, because I'm kind of.
Just see how feasible it is.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
Which is why you shouldn't make any decisions until you get into next year's budget.
Right, that's, but we want to have this out there on the table, knowing that we're doing it.
Well, it's probably good to start a little early and so know where we have to start thinking, you know, too, so naturally with millages and everything, we just don't want to go that way with our citizens either, you know, so.
Well, and in November, we'll have a new board, so.
And
Yeah,
that'll give me time to give you a breakdown on the cost of purchasing and the life expenditure of it,
mhm,
so.
yep.
All right, citizens' comments, anyone else in the citizens? Paul?
Careful, Doug, Dave wants to get up to the fair.
Well, it was a reason we moved this. That's why I wanted a separate day.
Well, see,
Nobody else wanted a separate day.
Mr. Skiles did drive a long ways.
He
to
did,
Tennessee.
you should go to the fair, you should go get some food.
Let's go to the beer tent.
Yeah, get some food.
Okay, council comments at this time.
I've just got a quick one, it's kind of a personal note. My wife, handmade quilt, won a blue ribbon up at the fair.
Oh, nice.
So congratulations, Patty.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that's awesome.
Yep,
Tell her congratulations.
She won first place.
yep.
Very nice.
That's going in the note.
I would like to
It's,
say
it's the one with the sailboats on it. So, there you go.
very good.
Awesome.
Well, see, our village residents do have a lot of talent. And so we really appreciate having living in our village.
I would like to say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Thanks very much to the community for another year of concert attendance for the Armada Jams. There's been some questions about why the ADA wasn't there in the park, and I wanted to say that one of the organizing members of the ADA had a death in the family, and it just was a bridge too far. So our condolences to the family, and thanks very much for coming out this year.
And thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
thanks for
it's-
doing a great job.
Great
Sam.
job.
If you don't
Awesome
go, you need to go. It's an awesome,
I
awesome
heard they had
Wednesday
a real
night.
good crowd too.
Oh, yeah, they always do.
The Soggy Bottoms, which is their new name again this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good name again.
Because it rained and all the picnic tables were wet. So I know, that's how I ended up. Yeah.
Any new council or community events, in other words? Okay.
The fair. Fair's here,
Well, anyway.
in case everybody doesn't know.
We don't have a closed session tonight, and it's proper to go ahead with a adjournment.
The time is 6:41. I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.